Today, I'm going to be sharing with you guys my ultimate Viper Icebox guide. In this guide, I will be covering things like lineups for post plants and setups, lineups for executes, and just general Viper strategies for Icebox. Of course, these aren't the only ways to play Viper on this map, but this is just what I like to do, and these are all the ways that I like to play Viper that works for me in my Immortal and Radiant games. As always with my guides, there will be timestamps in the description, that way you can skip to a specific part to find what you're looking for. Also, something to know is that all of these lineups work on all low graphics settings, which is what I play on. Finally, before we hop into the guide, if you find these videos helpful and you want to see more like this for the other maps, then be sure to let me know in the comments down below. And of course, be sure to subscribe, that way you don't miss any future guides like this. So first we're going to be doing post-plant snakebite lineups, and starting off on a site here, the first lineup is going to be for when the spike is planted right here next to the generator. For positioning, you want to come back into a main here and stand against the wall at the corner of these yellow lines. Aim right here at the top of this black bar. Just do a normal left click. And the molly will bounce off the wall and land right next to the generator. The molly does land fast, so you can shoot it when you hear someone tap to defuse, assuming you have your orb where the spike is. So the next lineup spot is going to be for when the spike is planted default. This also works if the spike is planted right here next to the rope. And for this lineup, you want to come back into A main once again and stand right here against the wall at this corner. Aim right here at the corner of this triangular shadow. Right here. Do a normal left click. And it will land right here, covering close to the rope as well as all of default. So moving on to B site, this lineup is going to be for when the spike is planted right next to this green box, which is the default plant spot. And this is not my lineup, this is actually Unidaro's lineup, so if you guys want to check him out, I will include a link to his YouTube channel in the description down below. So for positioning, you want to walk into this corner right here in B main, look up into the sky in this area, and you want to line up this part of the HUD with this white dot down here. It's really hard to see, but your crosshair should end up in about this spot. Do a normal left click, and the molly lands and covers all of default. So for B site, the next post plant lineup spot is for when the spike is planted more in the open, towards this left side. And once again, standing at the same spot, you want to look at the tip of this black line and move your crosshair up until it's in the bigger black line like this. And then you want to do a jumping left click shot, and it will land covering this whole corner here, which is a really common plant spot if you have good B site control. Something to note with both of these lineups is that they do take a while to land, so you can't wait for the enemy to tap the defuse, otherwise there's a chance they could actually stick it. You have to predict when the enemies are going to be running up on site, going for the retake, and use it before they tap. So now we are going to be moving on to general attacking executes for A and B site, as well as other strategies like lurks that you can use while attacking. So first up, we're going to be starting off with the A site wall that I like, and the position you want to throw this wall from is pretty much anywhere around here. And you want to aim it so it looks like this on the map. This way it will cut off the peak from screens, and it will also cut off the peak from the stairs that lead to back rafters. So with this wall up, as you can see, it completely cuts off the screen peak, and it will also cut off the rafters peak from stairs. An orb lineup for this site isn't usually necessary, as the wall does cut off most of where the defenders are going to be playing, but there is a lineup you can do for the right side of rafters right here if you would like. And for this lineup, you can throw it right when the round starts because you're going to want to be doing it from back here against the wall. And you want to aim right here at this corner where the light and dark grays meet on the roof, and then you want to do a run throw. So the orb will land rafters, and in combination with the wall, this is what your smokes will cover.
Poison orb emitting.
So for B site, the best wall is one that cuts off the corner of B site just like this.
Toxins going up.
So with this wall up, it cuts off snowman and it cuts off lower sight and most of upper sight. You just have to worry about the peak from right here or on top of the box. And for the orb, once again, I don't find it to be necessary on B site. I never really use it except for throwing it wherever the spike is going to be planted for post plants. Another option though for B site is throwing your wall like this and then coming back mid and standing around this part of the barrier where you can see this area of mid. Aim at this corner right here where the tube meets the wall and move your crosshair just a little bit to the right. And once the round starts, just do a normal left click with your orb. And now you have a good lurk smoke for mid. You can get up next to this wall and you can lurk under tube, or you can push through. Or if the stage hasn't walled tube, you can start walking up tube, all without being seen from anyone peeking under kitchen or boiler. This is a useful place for your orb during a B hit, because once again, the orb isn't necessary for B site, and the added pressure of a potential lurk or even actually lurking through mid is enough to draw someone's attention off of B or A site, which should make a B hit a little bit easier. So now for my favorite strategy on pretty much any map as Viper, these mid lurk smokes. You guys have seen these a lot in my videos, and the way I like to throw the wall is jumping into this corner while the barrier is still up and aiming right about here along the blue edge of the crate where it meets the white part of this other crate, right about here. Start your wall. And of course, the orb is also very easy as well. You just run and aim at this part of the tube, just like this, and do a throw. With both of these smokes up, this is what it looks like. And here's how I like to play these smokes. So put them up right as the round starts. And you have a number of options. The first one is to walk behind the wall and go under tube and fight towards B site, because this gives you cover from anyone who's kitchen. So it forces the B site player to look this way. And of course, the other option is to push up past the wall, go through here, and then you can swing out through your smoke like this and fight boiler. Or you can do a swoop peek and fight boiler and screens at A. One thing to know is that it's very important to change up how you lurk through these. So you don't want to keep doing the same thing every time, and you don't want to keep doing it at the same pace every time. So it's okay to put these up at the start of the round and just do something like sitting in this corner right here, waiting till you hear a footstep for someone rotating. Really, a lot of it depends on where your teammates are making a lot of noise at. So for example, if my teammates are making a lot of noise running A, they're just rushing A, I'll walk up slowly mid until I hear rotators start leaving boiler and leaving kitchen and going towards screens. And then I'll finally push through the smokes, get close to this wall, and then start looking to take some gunfights. It's super versatile. You can go as fast or slow as you want, and it will still have a good impact for your team. So finally, for the attacking strats, we have two best ult spots that I use while being an attacker. The first one here for A site, you want to get around to this line and just aim towards back site. So the ult covers pretty much this entire right part of site, and the best part is that you can get a one-way to see anyone pushing onto rafters to try and retake. So I like to play back in this right corner, look in case someone is about to jump on me from rafters. And of course, it's very easy to molly off this entire lane right here. That way no one will push through. And you can just molly this side as well to stall even more time. So ulting on B site isn't nearly as good as an attacker because there are just so many spots that the defenders can run around and creep into your ult from. But what I like to do is get as close as possible to the site itself and just ult back towards Snowman this way. So now your ult covers most of this part of site, but for the most part this is the best ult for this site because no one can easily get through Snowman and get in this way. They would have to be coming in from this way or this way if they don't want to be seen. So now moving on to the defender side and defending setups. First, we're going to be on A site. And if I'm playing A site as Viper, what I like to do is stand in this corner and throw my wall so it's aiming like this on the map. So with this wall up, you can have a teammate playing in maze right here and holding the swing through the wall or holding pipes like this. And you can also have someone playing Gen right here and holding the swing through the wall towards default from this left side. It's also good if you're playing back here as well. Once again, you can see anyone swinging past the wall. And for the orb spot, what I like to do is throw my orb around here. So this way, with the wall and the orb up, the attackers have to blindly push through like this. And if they're pushing back site, they have to gamble at all of these angles and just try and guess which spot you're playing at. Plus, if you have a teammate playing maze or screens right here, they can easily see both sides of this in case someone swings through your smokes. So if you're retaking a site as Viper and they haven't planted yet, there are a couple of quick and easy lineups that you can use to stall the plant. The first lineup for default is going to be from right here at this wall. You just want to aim at this corner right here. Just move your crosshair to the right until it's on this light line. You don't need to be too accurate. Do a normal left click. And the molly will cover default and right next to the generator. The other way you can do this is a lot easier and quicker, but it's more dangerous because you have to be exposed to this angle. But what you can do is just aim in the middle of 410 right here and just bounce a molly off the wall. Super quick and easy, and it will land and cover pretty much all of default and next to the generator. So finally, we are going to be moving on to B site defensive setups. And B site is generally where you'll be playing as Viper on this map because she can stall the plant and make retakes a lot easier. Or if she has help, she can easily up more aggressively in B main and completely cancel a push. So the first setup I'm going to be showing you is going to be the retake setup. And what you want to do is stand along this wall until the yellow crate and this white crate at the bottom line up. So just like this. And you want to throw your wall just like this. So now during a retake, you can easily put this wall up and have all of yellow and B main covered. So the orb spot for this setup is right here. And the reason for this is because it covers all of this corner right here. So if someone starts planting in your orb, they're going to be decaying. And for this orb spot, it's important to know this retake molly. And to throw this molly, what you want to do is walk into this corner at the green box and aim just here at the top of this white text on the orange crate, just like this. And let's say someone is planting in your orb. You want to have your orb up, decaying them, just like this. Just do a normal left click. And it will bounce off the orange crate and land at default. So the whole point of that molly is that it goes above the stage wall and it will land and cover this area where the sage is likely to be planting after she walls. And that in combination with the decay from the orb should get them off the plant and buy time for your team to rotate. So now this is the more aggressive setup for B site. And for this wall, what you want to do is stand against the wall right here, aim at the dark line on the green crate just like this. So with this wall up, you can hold the angle like this, and anyone swinging through is going to take that instant 30 decay. And another benefit to this wall is that if they aren't instantly rushing, you can put the wall up and walk up, and you can go play in this cubby behind your wall and force them to clear it or use util to clear it. Or if they don't clear you, that's easy kills. And if they are rushing, you can just quickly go into this corner as well and force them to clear it and play behind your wall. So the orb I like to do for this setup is a one-way on top of this crate. So you want to stand here against the wall, aim along this part of the crate, doesn't matter really where, and just do a jumping right click. And it will land along the crate. So this is more on the right side. So this one way is better if you're playing back yellow and peeking like this towards main. But if you aim your orb more on the left side of the crate, the one way is better for playing back yellow and holding this left side of B main. Another thing you can do during a rush is put up your wall, and you can just pre-molly right next to garage and the orb, just like this. So now anyone swinging out of garage will not only swing past your wall, but they'll swing into a molly, and this should do a good job of stalling a rush. The issue with shooting your molly further back like this is that it allows the garage players to swing through. So that's why you want to molly closer like this in front of garage, because it's not only going to stop the people running up from back main, but it's also going to stop the swing from garage as well. So finally, the last thing I'm going to cover is the best defensive alt spots for both sites. And for A site, my favorite alt spot is on top of pipes right here. And the way that I like to do this is I like to sit on top of this green box right before the round starts. And as the round starts, you pull out your ult, jump onto the zip line, and jump on top of 410, and place your ult on pipes, just like this. So the ult will expand off of you, and it will give you space to play on top of 410, and it will still cover all of lower main. If you are playing the lower part of your ult, and you have a teammate playing, for example, rafters right here and holding the pipes jump up, then there's pretty much no way for the attackers to just sneak past your ult. So my favorite ult for B site, I like to stand at the barrier here, and once the barrier goes down and the round starts, if I feel like it's going to be a B rush, what I like to do is just run up close and then ult under this green crate, just like this. So this ult covers pretty much all of B main, and it allows you to take a really aggressive spot like this, and there's pretty much no way for the attackers to run through this corridor, especially if you have something like a judge holding this. So you can lock down all of B main and get your teammates to go spot mid and A. You don't have to worry about this part of the map at all.